She's learning. Just remember, keep the pom-poms up high and always keep a smile on your face, no matter how bad the game is going. Lyman versus number 5 Wheatland, this game being played in Douglas. First quarter, Wheatland wearing the black. David Nelson will stop, pop, and hit from just past the foul line to give the Bulldogs an early 6-4 lead. Then it's Ryan Madsen, and between him and Nelson, you're going to see them a lot because they put up some big numbers. Last year's state runner-ups go up 8-4. The Bulldogs were biting early. Madsen's going to go fetch himself a big bone from NBA range. His team had a pretty good lead early on, 11-4. Lyman would get it together after that. Wade Ayer collects the first miss, then collects his own before he finally gets a shot to drop for the Eagles, who are right back in this game, trailing 11-9. Then they would start to spread their wings and fly. Here comes Cisco Taylor putting in 2 of his 13 points, and that would help his team take the lead, 13-11. Then Lyman was swooping in for a few more points. Bryce Brumell is going to spin around before he lays that ball up and in to cap off an 11-zip run. The Eagles led 15-11 after the first 8 minutes. Second quarter, Wheatland would start barking along with their biting. There goes Madsen again. I told you he had a lot of points, but I'll tell you his total later. His team is still down 15-14. The 3 ball is a specialty of the Bulldogs, and they can shoot it often. This is Tyler Pollock getting in on the act, and that gave his team the lead back. It's now 17-15. You want 3 more? Okay. How about the little guy, Cam Boughton? He's only 5 feet 6 inches, but don't tell him that. Wheatland was stretching their chain up 20-15. Not all their points came from behind the arc. Sometimes they tried up close, but there was a dogfight inside. Kobe Guile gets rejected on the first try, but there's no resistance on the second effort. The Bulldogs answered that 11-zip run with an 11-zip run of their own and now lead 22-15. The Eagles would not stay grounded for long. Ayer gets between 2 defenders and scores for his team, who now trail 22-17. Then their eagle-eye vision helped on this play. Ayer is open on the near side of the court. His teammates find him quickly, and he'll get the hoop and the call. The score is getting a little bit closer. It's now 22-19. Then Lyman would take a page out of their opposition's playbook. After a loose ball scramble, Taylor is going to count to 3, and then he's going to move the ball through the hoop. And just like that, the score is knotted up at 22 points apiece. But then the Bulldogs got loose, and birds were on the menu. Madsen, again. Hope you've been counting. There's 3 more. The scoreboard reads 25-22. Lyman tried to keep pace. Blumel will get inside for 2 of his 16 points, and he'd help try keep the score close. His team's down by 1, 25-24. Wheatland had a few bones to bury at this point, and they would. Pollock's at the top of the key, and he'll open the door for 3 to make it a 28-24 ball game. The Bulldogs were starting to chew up a few things. Guile gets the lay-in to add to the cause, and that would make the score 37-24. Yeah, you guessed it, the boys in black were on a run. The Eagles would try to fly again. Kyle Stokes will fire a shot from about 18 feet out and connect. The junior contributed with 14 points to the cause, but there was just enough time on the clock for one more shot. Madsen from way downtown. It's good, and he's already headed towards the locker room. Wheatland was in control, up 40-26 at the break, and there was more to come. Third quarter, the Bulldogs were wagging their tails because things were going their way. Madsen again. That would polish off a 26-8 run, and the score reads 48-30 at this point. Lyman had a lot of work to do in order to get back into this game. Blumel with a nice reverse lay-in to stop the bleeding. That made it 48-32. His team was counting. The Eagles were picking their shots because that was their best bet at the moment. Stokes will kiss one off the glass from about 10 feet away, and the deficit's down to 12, 50-38. But the Bulldogs would keep the opposition at arm's length. Guess who? Yep, Madsen. One more time. He had the hot hand, and the score is 53-38. Lyman kept trying. It wasn't promising, but as long as the clock kept ticking, why not? Taylor pours in his own 3, and that got things down to a 10-point contest. His team is still down 53-43. Wheatland was still ready to play ball, and they did. Nelson, drive, bucket, foul. 22 points for the senior. The score is 57-43 at this point. Let's get someone else in here. How about Delton Schofield for the Eagles? He's open behind the D, and he'll score easily. But his team was down big, 61-46, going into the final 8 minutes. Fourth quarter, Lyman would make one last run. Nathan Jaggy's on the outside looking in, and that's fine with him as long as it's worth 3 points. That would make it a 9-point contest, 63-54, but they get no closer than that. The Bulldogs were pretty much done with chewing up their play toy in this game. Nelson, 3 more, ring it up. The lead is back up to double digits, 66-54 now. Oh yeah, I never told you how many points Madsen had. Well, here he comes again. This time he'll just settle for 2 on the lay-in. The score is out of reach at this juncture. 33 points for the senior. And just for added measure, here comes another turnover. He'll take this treat and put that ball to bed, and that pretty much did it for this game. Wheatland wins going away, 79-63.